to hear these things. And I went back in and I figured I'd run the gauntlet again, as I called it, because it was very, I got to tell you, the female spirit that I addressed actually gave me a name and said that her name was Violet Wavy. And I mean, as clear as day, I'm Violet, she says. And right then and there was no kidding, because I knew there was a woman named Violet. There were no speakers, no anything in the house, just antique furniture from the 1800s. Their bedrooms set up just like they were when they left, when they passed. Violet passed in that house, and she passed by way of suicide. She was disgruntled over a marriage that failed, and it was off early in the marriage, and she was left in New York by her husband, by the groom. Left her a note, left her hanging, and she had to travel back. And what you need to understand is a trip like that, in the 1800s, women were not looked upon kindly if they traveled alone without a male companion. They were looked at as, if you will, trash, like a prostitute or somebody that didn't have anybody or any means. So when she came back, Violet had made separate attempts. She actually tried to kill herself more than once by jumping off the second-story roof and landing in a what was called a cistern, which if anyone knows what it is, it's a well. It's a water well for the house. And she realized how much it scared her because she didn't succeed. She's hanging onto this well edge and yelling for her father to help her. So he saved her one time. Began to get depressed. She saw a psychiatrist, and eventually she tried again with succession. They had what was called an amazing outhouse at the time. Violet was barely 18 years old, and she decided to take her life. And what she did was she tricked her father into thinking that she was coming around and getting out of this depression thing, and she went up and got his gun by asking for some of his writing paper where she knew that it was hidden. It was a Derringer. She snuck down at 6 a.m. in the morning, and she put it between her chest and shot herself and managed, she died nearly 30 minutes later, but her father came and said, "Where's the?" Kicked the door open, and there his daughter was with a gunshot wound to her chest, which she succumbed for about 20 minutes later on their couch when he took her into the couch in their living room. But I've heard voices in that house. I have been addressed personally, them using my name. They called me by name. Violet would say, "Brian, what are you doing today?" Things like that, just like someone talking to a friend. And it just blew me away. I had one video that I'm blown away by, and I lost some items and that video, and this is something I really regret, because you could see the physical feature of a woman. Her hair, or short haircut like she would have worn, everything was intact, including her face. I could see her eyes, everything. And her chin, it matched, just like
Did she make contact with you, like touch you?
She's come in there many a times.
Could you feel her touch you?
Yeah, you can feel little, yeah, you can feel.
Not like a real hand, more like
No, but they move things. I've been in my own house.
a sensation of
Yes.
some type.
Oh no, you could feel something rubbing you. I've had things when I was covered with a blanket, a sheet on my bed, something caressing me, literally comforting me, petting me like a dog. And I said, "Was that you?" I had begun to talk to them, and she says, "Yes, it is." She goes, "It is me." She goes, "I really." She's told me that she liked me, she cared about me, and I mean, this stuff is just in your head, and you go, "Oh my God,"
You have any evidence on your any of your ghost equipment?
I do have voice things that you can. Yes, you can physically hear.
What do you call those voice things?
They're called what are they called?
EPGs or
Yeah,
something?
EPs. They're EP messages from these readers that we get, and they actually decipher the voice.
Electronic something.
Yeah, the device.
Uh, hmm.
And it.
Well, I think it's got another terminology. We didn't get it quite right, but things
It's like
like
an EPG. I'm thinking. The direct terms. I don't know. I was infatuated with what was coming out of some people's mouths.
paranormal activity that you can record. Actually, it's